Maybe we should do this. That from now on.
Yeah, like
Record it, and then I can make it go. Then I can make it go live. Because right now it's saying that it's live.
oh yeah, it's totally like, no, that's perfect.
Yeah. Because now you guys can answer the
Oh, no,
comments.
that's what I'm looking at.
No, I'm redoing it right now.
Okay, I'm looking at it. Now, that was now.
Right now I switched Wi-Fi to my
Oh, you're good. Yeah,
So you see video?
yeah.
You like that video I made?
That's definitely why they flagged it, probably. Porn! Oh my god!
Oh my god, you're probably right. I didn't think about it. They got clothes on though.
These are things so, like,
Oh my god, they got clothes on
all of
though.
my friends and stuff, they go through getting their pictures banned. They go to big jail because of a risque picture that they posted or something. No, I think it looks great though. Definitely something that's gonna make people want to watch it and watch.
Yeah, so I do this for like the pre-show.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I like that it looks like a lot.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Explore Her Now podcast. I'm Phil. I'm be hosting your show today, and today we'll be talking about the female anatomy, more importantly, the vagina. And so, guys, let me welcome you. Thank you all for tuning in. We are here recording live at the Podcast Doctor Studios here in Orlando, Florida. And first, let me introduce you to the crew. So today, I have the owner, the founder, the inventor, Dwight Sutton. Dwight, how you doing, buddy?
Man, I'm doing awesome, great, spectacular. Any other thing that sounds progressive and good.
Yep.
That is how I am feeling and stuff. I'm just thankful to be here today with my partners.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
Yes.
And we are also joined by the lovely and beautiful Ariel Amore. Ariel, how you doing?
Hello. Happy Sunday. Happy Sinful Sunday, everybody.
Sinful Sunday.
Yeah, she's all right.
Yeah, she's all right.
She all right.
Okay. She's okay.
Oh, man. Whatever.
Yeah.
Happy Sunday, everybody. I'm happy to be here. I'm also feeling all of those things. Happy, great, phenomenal, wonderful, all of the above, and super excited to jump into this conversation because obviously I'm an expertise in this field.
Because you're the only one here who has one.
That's right.
Let the people say church.
That's right. And today, you know, we are going to be talking about the, let's say, the ins and outs of the vagina. And Dwight is having it.
What's fun? Okay, I'm let you go.
Okay. Go ahead.
What's so funny is that I got inbox today, and it was like, Dwight, what's up with the number 7? I'm like, what you talking about number 7 for? There's something on the Facebook page, which y'all got on there, on the Explorer page. So I went to the number, said the fun facts and this and that. So
The
I
fun
scroll down, you know what I mean? Because we never post anything that we can't back up with a source. And we don't
Right.
just come up with things and be like, boom, it sounds funny, boom, let's do it.
Yeah.
So when I went and read it, I just started laughing hilariously
Pretty wild.
because I'm like, I don't want no coochie like that.
Wait,
Not coochie.
everyone's probably so they're like, what are you talking about? Number 7?
No, number 7. I don't want nothing like number 7 to ever touch me.
Well,
I
we'll
will give
bring
up-
number 7 up
Okay, please bring
in
it
just
up.
a minute. But so if you're wondering what Dwight's talking about, we posted a list earlier
On Instagram,
on
on
Instagram, on Facebook
Yep.
about some facts.
Fun facts about the vagina, things that you would never even think about. They're very, very interesting.
All right. So do you actually have the list with you?
I do.
Okay, all right.
So let's see. We'll jump right in. So, fun facts about the vagina. Number 1, the word vagina comes from the Latin root meaning sheath for a sword.
Technically, that's correct.
I mean, that makes sense,
Ding,
right?
ding.
We always we call it playing swords or whatever when guys or what isn't that a thing? I don't know as much about the penis as you guys do, but isn't that a thing? Maybe not where you like touch them, but like, I don't know.
I don't know.
That's the
Dwight,
thing,
you ever-
right?
Did you ever do that?
Crossing
What's that?
swords.
Well, you're never supposed to cross streams.
Whoa,
Okay.
wait a minute.
That's a Ghostbusters thing.
I always thought that was like a thing that little boys did with their,
I'm gonna leave that alone.
Okay.
I don't want nobody
But I
coming
get why they
after
call it a
me.
sword,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
like a lightsaber.
You have to sheath your sword.
Yes.
I get it.
Yeah,
Okay.
right?
Okay. I like that one. I like
Yeah.
that one. All right. What else we got here?
All right. Oh, wait. There's a fact that goes with it. It says, not surprisingly, the word gladius, meaning sword, was common term for the penis.
Are you not entertained?
Which makes sense if you think about the source of language in general and how far back it goes historically. A lot of Latin words and Greek words, they make sense and we use them today. So yeah, gladius meant penis,
Wow.
sword or penis.
My gladius.
Can I put my
That's
gladius
such a,
in your
eloquent way of talking about it, right? I don't know if that would be
That is.
weird. Would that be weird?
It's poetic.
Yeah.
Like even go in the book of Songs of Solomon in the Bible.
But can
Yeah.
you use that in like dirty talk?
Yes.
Like to seduce a woman.
I
Can I
wanna-
put my gladius in your sheath
I wanna-
tonight?
I'm gonna use my gladius to smack you in the head.
I'll try. I'll try that tonight.
I don't know. I think that if somebody came at me with that, I would think I was gonna get murdered. I'm like,
Are
okay.
you not sexually entertained?
Exactly. I'm like, okay, dude. All
All
right,
what
let's
else-
see.
what else we got
Number
here?
2, the clitoris has double the nerve endings as a penis. So, which I find this very interesting because whenever people like insult each other and be like, "Oh, you're such a pussy," it's like, well, technically, like vaginas are way stronger than penises are. Like you guys, a little flick will take you right out, right? But like vaginas are a lot stronger, even though we're more sensitive in a lot of ways. Like we have so many more nerve endings and so much more going on down there.
I mean, that was one of the reasons why Dwight did his research because a lot of people didn't even know.
No, they don't know that, and it's sad because you're missing out. Not knowing these little facts, really, like you're not performing at your absolute best.
Now, Dwight, when you were doing your research on the female anatomy, I think it was what 8,000.
It's 8,000 nerve endings.
Yeah.
But see, it's just not about because the clitoris, the clitoris is like the mother lobe, and then as it goes down and down, it has like a multitude of other nerves, which are called nerve endings that are 2 to 3 inches in the vaginal walls. So that's why it was so imperative when I developed, created, Explore Her, that it was something that was guaranteed, something that was able to tap into that pleasure zone,
Yeah,
and something that was able to take that person to that extra pleasure zone.
yeah.
Because like I said, say like we talk about the pills, that's not guaranteed at all.
No,
You even talk
not for
ab-
her.
Not at all.
Yeah. Well, not for either one, but really not for her.
No, not at all. Because even if you go to the store, right, and I've been to a multitude of adult stores, and you get toys. Sometimes you get things that's too hard.
Yeah,
Some is too big. It's like
yeah, they're not universal
they're
at
not
all.
universal at all. But see, that's why with Explore Her, it's not too soft. It's not too hard, and you're able to tap into that point where the woman goes to contractions have that she's able to squeeze down but not collapse it. So as she goes to squeeze down on it, what happens is
like
that
flexible?
the rivets, but it's not. It doesn't give. So in a sense, when she goes to collapse, because she may be excited or whatever like that, her G spot is already. It's already. How can I say? What's the word I'm trying to say? When a woman gets when a woman gets aroused, it swells.
Yeah.
So now you have the G spot swelling, which creates like a little bump the size of a quarter. That's a whole bunch of nerves. Then you also have the nerve endings inside also reacting to the pleasure. So as she goes to constrict or contract, is it constrict?
Constrict.
Exactly.
But everything's like pressing against each other.
It's pressing against each other, so that's an added more pressure.
Yeah.
And stuff of that nature. So that's why, you know what I mean?
And a lot of people don't realize that. And there is, whenever we have the talk about does size matter, and so many girls are like, yeah, they talk about like hitting your cervix. That does not feel good. I have a cervix. That shit hurts.
Ding,
There
ding,
is-
ding. Your gladius is piercing my sheath.
No, thank you. There's a difference between like that pain and just like an easy pleasure. So those nerve endings aren't way back in there where your cervix
No.
is. So you don't need to have like a 9-inch long penis to satisfy a woman. If anything, a lot of women, in fact, even in our group, our Explore Her group, there's some women that are commenting that they're scared of a big penis because it hurts. They don't. Sometimes they feel like you can even miss that G-spot area altogether, go right by it, because you don't have the girth that Explore Her provides.
See, right. And like what she's talking about missing, if you don't have girth, first of all, look at my finger, all right? So, and y'all women out there know this. If a man penis is thick like this, you may feel it going in for a minute before you really get aroused. But
Like it
after
takes
you get
longer.
aroused and stuff of that nature, that feeling is not going to be there unless he's pressing up on your clitoris. Now,
Like he's gonna have to do a lot more work.
exactly, and stuff of that nature. So what happens is that, like she was just talking about missing it. The G spot is 2 inches in up, and it's like if you put your fingers in, you do the come here move with your fingers, and it's right there above. Now, once you go to feel it, it's like, you know what I mean. It's like the size of a quarter, and you literally can feel it when a woman is aroused because it becomes really rough. Like it feels like cartilage.
Dwight, where'd you go to school?
I know, like this is like specific information that I swear to God, so many men out there are gonna be like taking notes, like
Exactly.
what quarter size, like wait, where, how
Wait,
far
does he
in?
mean like a
The-
$50? A Sacagawea coin?
Wait a minute, my fingers are
You're
in the
literally
right place.
saving lives right now
Exactly,
with this information.
And it's funny that you say again. Besides that, is that because I know I wasn't well endowed, and that I'm not small. You put me in the medium category. Like I told you,
Well, according to statistics, it would be average because
no, I'm more than average.
So you're above, so according to statistics, you're above average.
Yes, exactly.
But
And so-
according to the social, what
Yes,
what
it's-
everybody thinks, the misconception.
Right, the 4.5 to 5 inches is average. Mine's is 6.5. You know what I mean? In length. Girth is a little 3, but still, when you look at like me, I got so in tune with trying to understand the anatomy of a woman. Why was all these women talking about girth? Because when you look at adult film porn, you always see the guy with the yaga.
Yeah.
And like,
Wait, what is that again?
yaga.
Is that a technical term?
Exactly. I'm speaking tongues. But the thing is, this is that you always see this big, huge man operating at a level that is sending this woman to an orgasmic paradise, which she's not really.
I was going to say, oh, sir, you
it's not
think
really,
anyway,
yeah, no,
because
she's
porn is
acting a whole
usually
lot.
it's usually fake.
But if that's how you got introduced to intimacy or sex, your mind literally thinks you need that to get that response, and it's not true.
Yeah.
So I knew it wasn't true because when you talk to women and like you hear little things, and I'm a literal person, so you just can't say something to me without explaining it to me. Like I need to know. And when I went on a journey to really get an understanding of the anatomy, it was the aha moment. I was able to see the nerve endings. I understood about the clitoris and how it literally is very long. Actually, we all start out with a clitoris.
There's an interesting fact about that too in here.
The male penis, before it's a hormonal thing, when it begins to develop, it becomes a penis. But as it starts, it was a clitoris, and stuff of that nature. So, like I said, say about once you understand how something works, you're able to figure out what to do to make it work for you.
So you mean science and medicine?
No, I wouldn't say medicine.
Maybe not medicine, but like medical facts and science. More science than anything.
And one thing about science is that science is going to give you a fact. It's not an opinion.
Anatomy.
You think I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like 1 + 1 = 2.
Mm-hmm.
Now you could come around with that number, but the reality of it is 1 + 1 will always equal 2.
Yeah. So there's an actual science to pleasuring a woman.
Exactly, it is. Now you have
people just have to.
right. Now the thing is that's where about the communication, because there are women that like certain things. There are different fetishes. There's certain women who like that pain, who likes that pelvic bone being tapped on. You have some certain yeah, exactly. You have some women that like the whole aspect of like, you know what I mean, they get into an argument and they want to have sex. You know what I mean? It heightens their sense of pleasure. Like you have someone like that to control. So it depends on your partner or you know what I mean, what they desire. And that's why Explorers is just not about the physical. It's about being able to sit down and discuss with an individual about like, what do you like? How can I please you?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because I can't, you know what I mean, especially if I was that type of guy, which I'm not, that just go around knocking off anything. I don't do that. You know what I mean? Back in the day, maybe. Not now. But the thing is this, is that you got to have a conversation. Because if I really want to make sure you don't talk about me afterwards, I need to understand.
And we do talk. We do.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So the thing is, this is me understanding what makes you, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? It could be a whole different thing.
Yeah.
But how do I know that if you don't tell me?
You don't ask. Yeah, absolutely. Those are, take notes. Take notes, guys. And ladies, this is a great way to open up the conversation with your guy. If they listen to another man talking about this stuff, maybe it'll get them a little bit more warmed up to the idea of talking about it themselves. But so now into something a little more silly. Number 3, in 2014, a doctor removed a potato that started sprouting vines inside of a patient's vagina.
Say what?
Our bodies give life, okay? So it makes sense.
Okay, but I didn't know you were Mrs. Potato Head. I mean, damn.
It makes sense that something in the chemicals in our vaginas would allow a potato to start growing. Yeah, I don't know. But it said the patient's mother had told her it would prevent pregnancy. So I'm sure that was like some kind of old wives' tale. Although I have heard a few different things. I've heard, because there's like all kinds of natural remedies for various things, like natural birth controls way back in the day. That was probably one of them, where people thought that like putting a potato in your vagina would stop you from getting pregnant.
I've got this bag of Lay's.
Oh, God.
Will that work?
Hey, you know what I mean?
Oh, Lord.
What about if I drop this tomato down there?
Oh, my gosh. Wow.
Yeah, that's a pretty crazy one. I definitely won't be testing that one out anytime soon.
That's nasty.
Yeah. Growing
You know what I
vines,
mean?
like you had like a plant growing out of you.
Well, it's
That
like
would be
it's
so
like
weird.
a primitive version of an IUD.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, and it also will help you not get pregnant if nothing can go in there because you have a potato in there.
plus with the vines and that, that's like alien.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe the mom was like, I know how to stop you from having
This
sex.
is going to be so disgusting.
And then the
Put a
smell.
potato in there.
Imagine
Oh, God.
the smell. That's
Dude,
why she couldn't have.
I don't want to.
Probably smell like Five Guys. What are you
Gross.
talking about?
Gross.
Hey, it's like,
Okay, moving on. Number 4. It's impossible to lose anything in your vagina. The opening of the uterus is too small for anything to go through it unless you're giving birth. So, I mean, that's good to know. You can't get anything lost in there to where you need to go to like the hospital and have it removed like you can in other areas of the body.
So this chick, she stole my ring then.
Did she say it got stuck in her vagina?
Stole my ring.
Oh my
I'll
goodness.
have to get back to you
That's
guys.
a new trick. That's a new one.
now she had that snapper.
Like, I'm sorry, I don't know what happened to your giant gold blingy ring. It's stuck in there. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, it's gone.
Could you imagine? Oh my gosh.
Oh, Lord. Yeah.
All right, let's see. Okay, we're not to number 7 yet. We're getting closer. Number 5, the organic compound squalene is found in both vaginal lubricant and shark liver oil. So another fun fact, we have the same stuff in us that sharks have,
What?
right? Our vaginal lubricant has the same organic compound as shark liver oil. So I guess the oil's in their liver of a shark.
Who was the scientist was like, hey, let me check this shark's liver.
Right.
Wait a second, this is familiar.
Yeah.
And what did they use the oils for? Maybe they use it for like a synthetic lubricant, I wonder, because it's the most similar to natural.
Yeah.
This is so heavy, right? Because there's a lot of stuff chemically that are that are similar to some of the things that we have in our body.
Yeah.
But like you sit and say, like, what will make somebody
Test that out.
test that? And what happens a lot of time with research, we find out things by accident, or we try to compare.
What
certain
kind of
things.
accident was
Yeah.
that?
I don't know. He might have been. Hey, I ain't gonna say what he might have been, but the thing is, this is like even with me doing my research, I learned so much stuff, like the wow factor in this. Like literally, I didn't know that there are certain like what Explore Her. The first of them is gonna be made with latex, but there are people that are allergic to latex. You think I'm trying to say? And then I couldn't even use like even trying to figure out the materials to use to try to complement everybody. You can't do that because there's so
Everybody's
many
different.
different allergies. Like we try to use the a lamb skin, but you can't use skin because it has pores. You think I'm trying to say? That's
So it's
why
a lot more susceptible to tears.
Exactly,
Yeah.
to tear it open, and we don't want that. So like even like silicone.
I'm allergic to shellfish,
Yeah.
so don't use that.
Oh, we're not going to use.
Don't
So
use-
you can't use the shark liver. Well, it's not a shellfish, but I mean
no.
ocean stuff in general.
But to tell you, that's crazy. But the thing is, this it makes me wonder what is in the lubricants that they use.
I don't know.
You know, what I mean, it's like we talk about the pills and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like wood
What's in it?
chippings.
Yeah, what is in it? You know, the ingredients, it's crazy. You don't know what you're putting in your body.
Exactly.
All right, so number 6, and we're getting closer to the really crazy one, but this one's pretty wild too. The title for World's Strongest Vagina, which I didn't even know that was a thing, and I'm a little jealous now.
World strongest vagina.
He just showed me a picture of somebody twerking. I mean, I admire good twerkers, but I'm kind of over the trend, to be honest.
Yes.
Like, I get it. Like, your butt jiggles. Mine does too. A lot of people's do. It's not special anymore. Sorry, twerkers. I still respect you, and I appreciate a good twerker.
All
Okay.
right, so what was it again?
Okay, the title for World's Strongest Vagina is currently held by Tatiana Kozhevanova. Russian
She's
last
Russian.
name. I'm sorry,
Strong
Tatiana.
woman.
Yes. Who set the vagina weightlifting record in 2009 by lifting over 30 pounds.
Jeez.
Yikes. Okay, so
How do you even connect it?
it says,
Oh,
okay, wait, look.
Hold on.
She attached the weight to a wooden egg so her muscles could grab onto it. And she was
No.
quoted as saying, "It's enough to exercise your vagina 5 times a day." Ladies.
Say it in Russian though.
Oh,
Ariel.
God, no.
Look at the inside.
But and in just 1 week, you'll be able to give yourself and your man unforgettable pleasure in bed. Man,
See that?
there's those yoni eggs, like those egg things that people buy and put in there, and you do like Kegels to
Yeah.
tighten or whatever. I mean, it's supposed to work, but then at the same time, there's a lot of studies I've read that basically say like your vagina is a muscle that stretches and goes back to normal. So it doesn't matter really what you do. You can make the muscles stronger, but like to a degree.
We're
I don't
gonna have
know.
our first debate.
Oh man.
Now dig this. Now what it is that it's a muscle. One thing like me, I'm on the process now of getting this beautiful body in order. So with that, it comes a point that once I lift weights, I build muscles. You cannot lift weights or do anything that you have to use strength that's not going to build on top of. So when I thought about when I first read it, I'm like 30 pounds. What did she do to them to know that she can lift 30 pounds? But when I read more into it,
Yeah,
it was
like how
talking
she
about
did
how
it.
she had to insert this egg.
God.
Mm.
I don't know.
Then
Just,
she literally inserted the egg and then she just clamped down on like this. So she said, pow. So
why does that sound like more work to me than like going to the gym?
No, exactly. But see, that was her gym. Because if she was able to grab 30 pounds and literally lift it, imagine.
Yeah.
So I can see how working. She probably started off with like 1 pound, like and it kept going up till it built up to the capacity that she could do 30 pounds. Now that was in 2009. She probably could do 100 pounds. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
I would like to meet her man.
I know. I want to ask him, like, is it only pleasure or does it ever hurt? Like, is it too much sometimes?
Like, do you ever make her mad when y'all, having intimacy? And she's like, shut up.
Oh my god! Like, yeah, does it hurt? Do you get to a point where it hurts? That's what I would want to know, because that's pretty intense. Yes. And like, you guys are already pretty sensitive. So is there a certain point where it's like, okay, too much?
Wow.
Release.
Yes.
My gladius has been broken.
Yes, exactly.
I'm calling the cops.
That would be an interesting phone
I am not
call.
entertained.
But then, I mean, it makes you wonder, does it lead into number 7?
Right.
Because that kind of, I feel like, can be a result. So
Right.
Number 7, what we've been talking about since the beginning, the one that freaked everybody out. Did you know vaginas are also strong enough to clamp down on penises? Which the woman that could lift the 30-pound weight, I'm sure, can clamp down pretty hard there. It says this is known as penis captivus. Another.
It's a Harry Potter term.
Penis
captivus. Oh no.
Oh man, I wonder what that would conjure. And it is a rare occurrence in intercourse when the muscles in the vagina clamp down with the intensity on the penis, which makes it impossible for the penis to withdraw from the vagina. So, like, how do you control that is what I want to know. If you clamp down too much and you're like, do you just freeze? Do those muscles get stuck and they can't come out? Like, how do you release that?
And see, yeah, because
I know it's happened before.
No, see, the thing is that, and this is why I had an experience where I was having intimacy and it felt like the person had a hand in there.
Mm.
Like, literally. It literally,
Like how? What do you mean?
It gripped it
Oh.
everywhere.
Okay, so she had the clamp strategy down.
Wait, what is it called again? What's the term again?
The clamp strategy.
No, the term.
which one? Oh, penis captivus.
Yeah.
Yes.
She
Well,
had the penis.
She had the penis
captivus.
captivus.
She captivus me. Too much. Like, leave me alone. But the thing is, this is that I experienced on a level where it literally, I was surprised.
Really?
Because I never felt nothing like that. It's a feeling that you never forget. Like never, like right now I'm thinking about it right now. You know what I mean? But I'm coming back.
She said then she really set the bar there then, because you can't think about anything else. Like when you're with somebody else, you're just waiting. You're like waiting for it to happen.
Yes, and that's the thing. And but I could see that happening, especially when I heard that study done, it made me think about and this is how my mind. This is the scientific person inside of me thinks about how to compare things and how to come up with the answer for things. Because I've heard that when dogs mate, you know what I mean, sometimes it could be locked in. And that you have to throw hot water on them or something.
That's crazy.
And all that. So
is it the woman? Is it the female dog that does the clamping and locking?
Yes,
That's so funny.
And like
those bitches.
That's female
in
dog.
the animal kingdom, though, the women are the females are the aggressors. They're the sexually dominant ones. Like I heard, lions will when they're in heat, they want to mate like several times a day or whatever. And when the male lion gets tired and tries to take a break, the female lion will bite his balls.
Yeah.
Until he submits.
Yeah.
Dwight, I think you and I should start an R&B group. I'll be Penis Captivus and you'll be Girth Brooks.
That's perfect.
That's crazy. But yeah, so I can believe that, because if animals have that capacity to do just that, why can't females, male, you know what I mean, the human
Could you
society
imagine?
do that?
I'm not done with you. You're not going anywhere.
Yeah, like, come here. Well, the size matter then?
I
Because
wonder.
like if you
I guess does it depend on the muscle strength too? Because the 30-pound lady, size probably doesn't matter because she can clamp down on anything.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Interesting.
Yes.
But then at what point, because I've definitely seen, in like movies and sitcoms where they recreate like embarrassing scenarios, but where the woman seized up and couldn't like release, and they had to go to the hospital and they had to like give her a shot of like a muscle relaxer
Right.
to get her to relax enough to be able to release him.
That's got to be the awkward.
So
Trip to the
awkward.
Yes. That's like even like I mean like that's why I sit and say the woman's anatomy, even the male's anatomy. But there's been cases where, and I know we get off the subject, but this is like, there was things I seen where the woman had kept having an orgasm and couldn't stop.
Oh
That she literally
yeah,
had to
I've
go to the
seen
hospital.
that. Yeah, I've seen. There's some show that was going over it, and she like
Yeah.
it was like physically painful for
So,
her because
yeah.
it was nonstop.
After it went past the pleasure, it became, and I sit
Yeah.
back and wondered, like me, I really wanted to go like check out why. Why didn't that switch go off? But see, that's how I
Like an overproduction of something. in
yes,
her.
it's over. So the thing is, this is that when people begin to talk about things in a scientific aspect and why this and why that, there's always an answer. But it's about being willing to go search for the answer.
Yeah.
This is why Explore Her is what it is, because, like I said, it's going on a search. Imagine my brothers and them out there that, you know what I mean, they're not well endowed and this and that. And you know that feeling of inadequacy. That feeling that you see that bad, beautiful. How many times have you seen a woman that you really like, I mean, physically was very beautiful or attractive to you, and
Like
you
you're
didn't
10.
approach them because of the fact of you believe that you couldn't satisfy them. And because of that, you chose to stay away. That is depressing.
Yeah, and that sucks, especially because like you never know, that girl may not have been the type of person that would turn you down because you weren't like super well endowed,
Right.
But the lack of confidence is enough to kind of miss an opportunity.
Well, see, even with the lack of confidence, it also go on the media on what's projected, because
Absolutely.
you
It's
never
so unfair.
You never have a show where they be like, "Ooh, look at that small penis! Oh my God, look at it!" No, they don't do that. But man, with
Well,
the big penis,
found my clip I'm cutting out.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Or they see the guy with the big penis and like, oh
Yeah.
my God.
The jokes about the jokes of like, oh, well, did you get to see what he was like down
I mean,
there?
look at
Like,
Sex in the City, Mr. Big.
Everything is all
Mr. Big. Right.
It definitely is one of those unfair like stereotypes and where they expect like people to sort of.
But you say unfair. I don't look at it as unfair. I look at it as a choice.
Yeah.
Again, because we as people always want to put titles on things in order to cast people out. Now you got the woman that like and women, but there's a scientific reason why women like men who are well girthy. But as you get older and mature, once you understand your body, you're more open to certain things because now you know how to make the things happen. Now, but there's situations where you may, you have to improvise.
When you start to realize that is not always the key make or break factor in whether or not you want to date somebody or be with them. Because, that's a very one small thing in the whole bigger picture of who they are as a person. So it's like, what's more important?
But
priorities.
And then like I was saying, like that guy that's listening, there's a thing called a small penis syndrome. It literally is a diagnosis. You could Google it, and it talks about the effects and the factors of having a small penis syndrome and the things that goes on internally in a man and stuff. And this is why Explore Her is so important, because if you knew that you had something that was guaranteed to give you the internal strength to go after what you want, knowing that you're able to please her, then it will make your life much better. And not sitting saying that, because you have something for your penis, your whole life is going to be great. No, it's not. Because there's many different factors that go into the human psyche. And then, a lot of times we have to understand about what it is to be healthy internally. A lot of us don't have 360-degree healthiness. But what Explore Her taps into is at 360 degrees, because it's just not about the physical. It's about the internal.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
about communicating. It's about the being open, because I know there are a lot of marriage couples out there, unless you never had sex ever and y'all both come into the marriage as virgins, then you don't know really what to expect.
Right.
But
yeah.
if you have had experience and you come into a marriage and everybody remember the good ones, everybody remember the bad ones. That's how they make the comparisons.
Yeah.
So imagine you have a woman. She loves her husband. She loves him, like she adores him. And he cannot please her physically, so she does a lot of faking. But after a while, she becomes tired of it. And then she begins to
resentful.
act out.
Women
Yeah,
get resentful in that way. But
exactly.
a lot of that is lack of communication, like you were saying.
Communication. So now, you want to say something, but your husband may be sensitive because then now
Yeah.
you have to reveal to him that
You've been
all those
faking.
times that you weren't satisfied.
Yeah, that's a blow.
Right, so that's offensive to him.
Mm-hmm.
But see, the thing is, this is about learning how to create that platform where you both can discuss your likes and dislikes.
Yes, opening that conversation is huge.
And then like even how to even bring up that topic, because how do you bring up to your mate, somebody that you have an intimate relationship, somebody that you love, that hey, I'm not satisfied.
Yeah, and I think that that's the great thing about Explore Her is you almost don't even have to necessarily use the words. Like you can be like, hey, I've got this thing that I want to try. Are you open to trying this out? Because it's gonna be great for both of us.
Right.
And then from there, I think after a mind-blowing experience, then you can have a conversation. It's a little bit less awkward.
And it also is like too, like you said, thing. I would say tool. I have this tool that I like to try out, because when I sit and say about, I always go back to that toolbox.
Mm-hmm.
In order to build a house, there's many different type of tools that you need. But in order to use the tools effectively, you have to understand what the tools were made for to do. Mm-hmm. So as again, if I pull out a hammer, everybody knows that this hammer is to knock nails in, to knock stuff down, pry stuff up, and all that. If I pull out the screwdriver, you know that the screwdriver cannot do what the hammer can do. So this is what about Explore Her, about the relationship enhancement tool, that you know that this tool, what it's specifically for. When I talk about the nerve ending, this tool taps into the nerve endings when it swells. This tool taps into the G spot. Now, people say nerve in the G spots, pleasure zones, orgasms, everything. You know what I mean? This is going to bring her to that point where she is totally evolved.
It's a tool that's like guaranteed to hit all of those pleasure zones.
Yes. And then when I say about evolve, there's nothing. That's like the first time that a woman squirt. First time a woman, like any time that this is the first time, there is this utopia feeling, this feeling that goes over the body. It's a woman feeling. And imagine the look, my brothers, that who are going to need this, who desire this, to be able to see the look on your lady's face, knowing that, like, just imagine how that feels. Because
I feel like that's always the goal, right?
Yes. Because,
Yeah.
Because there's not no man that could sit here and say that they don't want to please a woman.
Yeah.
I mean, now, unless you're cold-hearted and ignorant or just trying to cover up your insecurities. You know what I mean? Because I heard some dudes say, as long as I get mine off, she don't get hers off, well, it's on her. But there's nothing like seeing that woman really, like, with me, like I said, feeling the vaginal wall vibrate, constrict when she's, you know what I mean, doing whatever that turns me on itself, because I'm a giver. I get pleasure out of knowing that you're getting, my partner's getting pleased.
Yeah. What's funny is it feels like the majority, and I would say based on my experience and experience from my friends, that the ones that have the opposite feeling, where they only care about getting off and don't really care about the girl or the woman, is usually the guys that are more well endowed.
Yeah, and that is true too, and they're emotionally disconnected, and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a great term for it.
Yeah, emotionally disconnected. Let's imagine a serial killer. You know what I mean? Like, they're emotionally disconnected.
Yeah.
But to a whole nother level. You know what I mean? So, and then you have some women that, and that's another thing that I want to, like, you know what I mean? Like, for a woman to be comfortable to express, like, you know what I mean, everything about themselves. Like, Explore Her isn't just for the man.
Yeah, no,
Explore
definitely
it
not.
also for the woman too, because like I said, once I found out about the nerve endings, I literally was like, oh, I gotta go ask some women, so see what they're gonna say. Like, do they know why? Because I asked them a question like,
I don't even think a lot of women know that about themselves. No. That's why they think hitting the cervix is like what it's all about and what they're supposed to do.
Yes, and that's like, even I think I even asked you. I'm like, well, what do you prefer? You were like, girl, I said, do you know why? And I believe you were like, cause I said the nerve endings, and that may seem like a nerd. Like
it's such a simple way to put it, though, to really get you to understand like what it is. I think so. I think it's the best way to describe it.
Exactly, and then like I said, like, you know what I mean, and I can't wait. The product is be out here soon, but like I know everybody wondering like, where's it at? Where's it at? It's coming. It's all a process and things of that nature. You know what I mean? We had things that we had to put in place first in order for us to bring to fruition. You know what I mean? It's already patented, it's already trademarked, all these things, but like things have to be done systematically. But I can't wait because I have had hundreds of people say to me,
they're
like,
excited. They're
excited,
excited, which is so great. Like, I love that we're opening up the conversation. So then by the time the product comes out, everyone's going to be ready. They're going to be ready. They've already had the talk.
Exactly.
They've already had the conversations. Now they're ready for the product and to get down to business.
That's like, it's funny. Like, me and my partner had an opportunity to go to the sausage factory.
Castle.
The sausage
I kept calling
castle.
it that, too.
I call it a factory because it's sausage factory. But the castle with Mr. Mike Boosie. You know what I mean? And I was able to meet, what's his name? Miguel. You know what I mean? And being there, what I learned, because I've never been to, first of all, it's a big, huge house.
Yeah.
The property is
It was
huge.
humongous. They had a map.
Yeah, and
That's how big it was.
Right, and the thing about it was the freedom of expression. And things of that nature, and like even like I'm going around talking to people about the product, and like there were a lot of people who were interested, and these are people that understand the pleasure world. These are people that understand what it is to seek, you know what I mean, pleasure at all levels. You know what I mean? Like we went in there, it was one girl, she was like, you know what I mean, doing the soft whipping. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna say nothing that I liked it. You know what I mean? I don't think I liked it. I'm lying. I liked it, but it was like just the whole thing. Yeah, you know what I mean. When you could go around, I could say people who are seasoned, especially
they're not shy.
Yeah, especially when it comes to intimacy, and they respond to you the same way as somebody who may not know or understand. You know you're on to something big.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Stuff like
and
that.
they were super curious,
Yes,
and they would definitely all be using it.
Yes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even like it was a pleasure for me just to be invited, you know what I mean, to the sausage castle, and things of that nature. And like, you know what I mean, what I thought it was gonna be like, it really wasn't. It was like grown folks enjoying themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like even like with Mike Busey, you know what I mean? Like this dude is famous. You know, everybody know like Mike Busey, but he's laid back. Like,
it was a super chill environment. It wasn't like crazy wild party or anything like that. Like it was just people, grown adults, like having a good time.
It was inviting. Now, is that how it is all the time? Well, I don't know. I only been to one, but what I experienced allowed me to see how I may want to have myself in certain directions and things of that nature, though. But like the biggest thing about it all that I learned, you know what I mean, and I may get off a little subject, how Mike Busey handles his star, him being a star, because like dude's famous, and the way he is casual, he's not caught up in all the extra stuff. Like, you know what I mean, he's about his business, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. Like even his team and things of that nature, man. So like that really let me know that, you know what I mean, certain people do change when fame happens, and certain people just stay the same. Meaning that, you know what I mean, they don't take it to their head as though, you know what I mean, you got to bow down to me. Because, like, he was out handing stuff out, you know what I mean, like, you know what I mean, you might be busy. Why do you have to hand anything out? And stuff like that. So, but that's the type of person he is. But the thing is this, we met a whole lot of people there. We connected with a whole lot of people.
A lot of good feedback.
Yes. And I look forward to next year. You know, maybe I hope we could partner up with something. You know what I mean?
It'd be great to do an event there.
My gosh.
All of our viewers and our listeners can come out and participate.
Yes.
Hopefully the virus will be over and done with, so we won't have such strict rules and regulations, and everybody can have a good time.
Exactly. And like I said, and just being able to have a platform where people can come and just express themselves.
Yeah.
And that's what Explore is going to be about. You know what I mean? Because yeah, right now everything is virtual, but also being able to have like vacate. That's one thing, cruises and everything, where people, grown folks, can come and like learn things, young folks, but at a mature aspect.
Like not just about having sex and
Yes.
hooking up, but where you can like even have like sex therapists and relationship counselors and invite and like open discussions
Yes.
and
I think that's what I want. I want to talk to some sex therapists because I've been having some problems with my gladius getting in the sheath.
see, and she'll know exactly what to do.
Exactly.
She'll be able to guide everybody, open up the communication, make everyone more comfortable getting that gladius in that sheath.
And then the role playing, and that's the whole thing. Like I learned, 'cause I used to be in the mental health working field, and we had to do a lot of role playing for people to be able to learn how to express self. So imagine, like, and I can't wait for that because I like having the couples in a circle.
It'll be so nice to take
Yes.
the awkwardness out of it, where people can feel
Exactly.
comfortable and not feel comfortable talking about things that are really sensitive subjects.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's a very, very sensitive subject. Something that it needs to be dealt with appropriately because there's a lot of marriages that have broken up over this subject, over the
definitely.
intimacy subject. But it's covered over by things that are not real. You know what I mean? Like you could sit and say, I fell out of love with you. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you fell out of love.
But it
okay.
starts from somewhere, and a lot of times
It
it's
does.
that
There's
passion.
There's a root to it. If it's not money, you know what I mean? Like you all
They
your-
say, what is it? Money, kids, and sex are the main
Yes.
things that cause.
Yes, you know what I mean?
divorces.
So if you take away money in the kids, then you have that thing.
Yeah.
But that's the one hardest one to deal with.
And honestly, sometimes really good sex will smooth over a lot of things. You might be having money problems, you might be arguing about your kids, but if you can reconnect in the bedroom and like have those moments where you can kind of forget all of that for a little while, I think sometimes it does bring people closer together and help them conquer other aspects of their
I'm glad
relationship.
you said that. I want to ask a question.
Okay.
You said really good sex can smooth over everything. So
Some
do you,
things.
now, my question to you is this because you're a female.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard many stories of men being, for better lack of terms, vagina whipped,
Yeah. Okay.
or women being penis whipped.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you were to paint a picture, if you ever experienced that, being whipped,
I will say that I spent longer than I should have in a relationship that I would not have been in if it wasn't strictly for the fact that we had great sex. But once I kind of like got my head out of the clouds and like assessed everything else, then I realized, okay, this is not a good relationship to be in. But I definitely could say that there was a portion of that relationship where it was only because we were having good sex that we were even together.
wow. And like with me, that's like I think I told Phil, like I remember. I'm gonna tell you the story real quick. I was 18 years old. I was in my own place. And it was this lady that came to my house. And what was so powerful about it, she came to my house. I didn't like nobody come to my house unless you called.
I mean, that's black families.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
no, you don't just show up at the
You
front
know.
door.
Who? The male? Nah, I ain't answering though.
No.
You ain't call first.
So you're peeking through the blinds, like thinking you're being home invaded.
Exactly. So the woman came and she knocked on my door. And it was raining out. And I start stabbing like, yo, why you come to my house without calling? I'm snapping out because like when I tell you something, I mean for you to listen to it. You know, I didn't play those games. Like I don't repeat myself. So she pushed me in the door, like pushed me away from the door. I'm like, wait a minute. And I wanted to respond, but then she had opened up her jacket.
She was naked.
And no, she wasn't naked. She had these things on her nipples, and she had like stuff on the side of her
Like
legs.
tassels?
Yes.
So she was like,
She had the whip. All this
oh,
stuff, right? Now,
oh.
before this, I never ever.
Did you know her? Like,
Yes, I
okay.
knew her.
This
thought knew
I
her.
like
Hold on.
UPS now.
Hold on. So,
Here you go, Dwight. Here you
Let
go.
me make sure.
Go ahead.
so anyway,
Go ahead.
Oh,
Put it
man.
on him. Put it on him. Go ahead, man. Go
We
ahead.
need the mood
yo,
music.
you're
Yeah.
making me laugh, man. Like this is serious.
Go ahead. That's what I'm telling you. Put it on him. Give him the
anyway-
voice.
Yeah. Go ahead, man. But anyway, when she pushed me in my door, And then I looked at her, and she opened up her jacket. She said, "Get on your knees." And I literally got on my knees. Wait
There
a
are
minute.
people that pay a lot of money for that.
Yeah, but, no, but, check it out. But see, when you're a virgin to something, you don't operate like that. So that let me know that there was something. I didn't know this till after the fact. So I literally got on my knees, and she taught me a whole lot of stuff that night.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. To the point where I literally knew she had to be off my list.
Oh.
She was dangerous. She
But
was.
listen, at least you tried it. That's the thing is like I think people should be open-minded to experiencing new things and then make your determination as to whether it's something you would do in the future. You know, so at least you learned young that there were things that you were maybe.
Hold on, wait a minute. Let me tell you something first. You gotta have experience to try. When you just had something pop up on you, and you operate in obedience to it, there's something else.
Yeah.
Because if I'd have had time to really think, I would have kicked
Really?
out the door. You know what I mean? But I didn't have time to think because I was fascinated. And I'm sitting like, what? And then when she showed me what she showed me through that whole night, and then when I woke up that next evening and she left a note, I knew that she had to stay away from me. Because anything
Like,
that
that was too freaky.
Yeah, no, it wasn't too freaky. It was another level of pleasure.
Oh,
whole
got
nother
you.
level of
Okay.
pleasure.
So
Okay, yeah.
she had to stay away from you because you realized you were weakened around her.
I was whipped.
Okay, got you. So she put that penis captivus on you.
The penis captivus.
Yeah,
The penis captivus.
Penis
Like-
captivus and
That's what
Girth
it's
Brooks.
called.
Oh yeah, the penis captivus.
when she captured your penis.
But it wasn't just about the capture. She captured my mind, body, and soul. Like, it ain't just about.
I'm
like,
not gonna lie. I think that is almost the goal of every woman when they go into a situation. That's I mean that's why Cardi B and people write songs about it.
WAP.
I mean
Yes.
that's the goal, right? Look, I think the goal is to kind of pussy whip our guys.
Yeah, it is. But you think about. It's crazy that you say that. If you look at history, what has torn down more kingdoms than anything?
The vajayjay.
Yes, the power of the wham.
The vagina has literally started wars.
Literally. And that's too powerful. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. But what I was saying is that in that, there's so many different levels of pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
And being able to express that and talk about that, especially with your partner, means a lot.
Yeah.
You think I'm trying to say? I know what it is to be in a relationship and stuff like that, where communication isn't at a all-time high. It kind of leaves you empty, and stuff of that nature. So, like, I'm very high on communication because with communication we get an understanding of ourselves.
And do you think that? And it's interesting because the next faction here kind of plays into that. When we were younger, like, not having adequate health and sex education plays into, because I know you can't talk about this kind of stuff necessarily in sex ed with a bunch of minors, but like the next fact, number 8, was saying it's believed that the first movie to use the word vagina on film was Disney's The Story of Menstruation, released in 1946, and it was a 10-minute animated film that was shown to 105 million American students in health education classes. And like I think about that, and I think about what I learned in health education and my sex education classes, and like they kind of put the whole center focus around pregnancy and prevention and disease prevention, which is great, but there's not really an open conversation about the ins and outs of the vagina and the ins and outs of the penis and the different sizes and the different, everything. Like there's no real straightforward. You still have people that are like shy about saying the word penis or saying the word vagina. Like I think there's a certain point, like even at a younger age, you should not look at those words as like dirty and you can't say them and like you're afraid to talk about it. But it seems like it starts young.
No, see, the thing is this: religion.
Yeah, well,
Religion
that's a whole
no, but see, now I'm not getting into religion.
Yeah, that's a whole thing.
I'm taking the one part from it that how it really molds our mind and our outlook, and stuff of that nature, and it's understandable because pleasure was not talked about
No.
in families. But the thing is, this is that and this one thing, and I don't, like I said, I don't want to tap into religion because we go back and forth on that. But there's a book in the Bible, the Old Testament, called Song of Solomon, and it's talking about King Solomon and this feeling that he had for this lady. And as you read this, the poetic way that he spoke about her beauty, her color, like he compared her breast to antelope, and like I'm sitting like, wow. When you
Yeah.
sit back, but the thing is this: to read that and understand the dynamics of that goes against everything that we learned
Yeah.
later on, stuff of that nature. And that's where I think a lot of times where people get confused about their they get confused about their desires, their wants, their genetic makeup, everything of that nature, and stuff like that. So when you put boundaries on people's minds, I believe that causes more harm.
Yeah.
I think that you know what I mean, and like I only want to be political about that because that's a whole nother level. Like to be able to talk to children pertaining to themselves, a healthy way in a negative
It's really
way
important.
will be very important because
Very, yeah.
what you do is that you allow them to learn from the TVs, not TVs, the internet,
Yeah, just the media in general.
then go to school and learn these things. So
Yeah.
my thing is this: is that like again, Explore Her is going to tap into a whole dynamic of individual people and things of that nature. And like it's funny that I just as we sitting here talking, you brought up the thing about the children. You know what I mean? And now I'm thinking on that too. Like maybe we need to work on something pertaining to children.
I mean, sex education and,
Yeah,
and things like that.
exactly.
Like, I know that I don't know if big companies like Trojan or whatever have ever done anything like that, but I think it's something that needs to be done because when they become adults and they go into the real
They got
world,
a warped sense. They
Yeah.
got a warped
they
understanding.
have no idea what to expect, what they're doing, except for what they see in the media, what they see in the commercials, like
Porn.
things like that, porn.
And stuff like
yeah,
that.
there's no real education. So I
Right.
think that, obviously it would have to be something that either 18 and over, where we kind of hit the college age, or if we go below that, something catered specifically to
See,
minors.
Well,
with
I'm gonna stop on that because everybody wants to always talking about the 18 and over. By that time, it's too late.
I agree.
Because-
Yeah, that's
because-
just such a tricky thing
Because
with
the
people.
thing is, this is that science has shown that a child mind develops
Mm-hmm.
by the time it's 5 years old.
Well, and all these like 12 and 13-year-olds that are like watching the WAP music video, they're already getting an idea of what sex is before they even reach like
Right.
puberty.
But the thing is, you ever heard the terminology? Let me in terms about over sexualizing. When you are able to teach a child at a young age about healthy and unhealthy ways, it sticks with them longer. Just
Absolutely.
like with drugs. I think children start learning about drugs when they're in elementary school.
Yeah.
Because the thing is this is that if you're teaching a child about healthy and unhealthy, when they go to do certain things, they're going to be reminded of what was taught to them properly.
Right.
So now they could go into something understanding that, hey, there's a cost with this. There's
Yeah.
a risk with this. So, like, you know what I mean? And that's where our society, it's too much information out there in the internet to sit around and talk about wait till the child is 18 years old to tell them stuff
No, absolutely not.
at all. So that's why I sit and say that we need to be able to start this discussion.
Yeah,
early
I have
age.
3 boys.
Yeah.
I have a 15-year-old. We have very open conversations, and he doesn't like it. It makes him squirm. It makes him uncomfortable to
Right.
talk about certain things, but at least it'll stick in his mind.
Right.
It'll be in his brain when he has certain experiences in life that he's destined to have. There's nothing I can do to stop, him from wanting to have sex one day.
Exactly.
I'd rather him like have the tools, and the information and everything to go in there confident and safe and all of that stuff. And he's
Exactly.
15, it starts young.
Right. That's like, and let's say, like, I have 2 daughters, Kristen and Brittany, and like, my oldest one, her name is Kristen. She just had my grandchild. I'm a grandfather now. Beautiful son named grandson named Quincy.
Aw,
And-
congratulations.
And I used to, me and my daughter, I never kept things from them. Maybe I was a little bit too harsh on things, but I wanted them to, they could never sit and say they didn't know. Like, they had to know, like, this and that, and it paid off. It literally paid off. And I'm thankful for that, especially with my oldest one, because my oldest one, is that's what I'm telling you, she knows.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, her life expresses her maturity. You think I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
My youngest one is growing into that now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like my youngest one, I call her my twin because me and hers are so similar because we go against everything. And all that. But like I said again, all this goes back to communication.
Right.
And explore her again is a movement. And this is what I want. If you talk children, you think condoms. I want you when you think explore her, you think satisfaction, you think communication, you think openness. You know what I mean? You think clarity. You think all these things, and that's what I want you to do.
I almost see it as a go-to place where people are going to go for information and get answers to questions.
We're going to have books. We're going to have all kinds of things. We're going to have vacations. We're going to have all these things where you get to meet our whole entire staff and do things with us. Where you be able to reach out to us with questions and things of that nature because it means a lot to me to be able. I love empowering people. I love empowering people. I love enlightening people. I love it. You know what I mean? Like I'm a giver by nature. I'd rather give than receive. And I know there's a lot, millions and millions and millions of people out there who have issues, but don't know how to express it. And the reason why I can say that, because you have a male enhancement industry that by the year 2027 is going to be a $52 billion a year
Yeah, so clearly
industry.
there is a demand.
And the thing about that male enhancement industry is not based on facts.
Right.
So
Taking advantage of desperate people.
Right. So the thing is, this is that if $52 billion based off of a lie, that is powerful. Like that is so powerful. But then I look at the other side. What are the psychiatrists and psychologists are making off the people who are damaged when it comes to realization that they don't have nothing to give them that's going to help them
to fix the problem.
Yeah. See, there's a flip side to that. See, we could talk about the good side, but there is a negative side to that. And that's where I want to be able to tap in between.
So like preventative measures, not pay me all this money to cry about how your marriage fell apart, but instead come and figure out how to fix it. Maybe this will help you fix it.
Yes, and like I was saying, like we're gonna have plethora of different type of. We're gonna partner with. See, the thing about partnering with psychologists and sex therapists and you know what I mean, ED specialists and you know what I mean, all these different type of people that when you tap into explore her, you can never sit and say, well, I don't know where to go. No, we're gonna have all that.
Resources.
And that's gonna involve
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes,
I'm excited. I think it's going to be so great, and people are already so excited about it.
Yes, and that's one thing. Like I said with the team, like right now we're talking, telling you about it. We're opening up discussion. Like y'all can reach out. I have people reach out to me already, asking me questions pertaining to certain things.
Yeah, I'd love to get your questions because then we can discuss them on the podcast.
Comment below.
Yeah, absolutely.
Comment
Please
below.
send us all the comments on any of our posts. If you want a private message, if you're not comfortable commenting on the public post, please send Dwight or myself any in our inbox on Instagram or on Facebook or wherever you can find us. Sign up for the email list on our website as well, because that's another good way to stay on top of everything.
Yes.
So we want to take your questions, the things you want to know. Let us do the research for you. Let us talk to the experts and come back to you with answers and information.
That's right. Yeah, Explore is more than just a brand; it's a community.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And the thing is that guarantee with us, you're never gonna get misled.
Yeah.
Aaron doesn't play that.
Backed up with
Dwight
sources,
don't play that.
facts.
Right. Dwight don't play that. Phil don't play that.
Yeah.
And the rest of the team doesn't play that. It doesn't matter. I don't care if it goes against my pocket. Meaning that if it's going to do anything to take away from me, I'm okay with that. As long as you get the right
information
to your problem.
Absolutely.
You know, a lot of people get caught up on how's it going to affect me? I'm past that. You know what I mean? My thing is about, I just say, like, when it's my time to be able to sit and say that Explore Her was a trusted brand. Explore Her was a trusted movement. I can't wait to hear stories of married couples that be able to express about, like, hey, man, we thank you.
Amazing it was and how much it changed everything, changed the game.
Yes.
Yep. Oh, wow. We crushed it here. We already went well over an hour.
Okay.
I think that today's episode was especially informational.
Fun. Yeah, that was a lot of really cool information.
Learned a lot.
I learned a lot. I know I did.
What did we learn about?
Penis Captivus
Yeah.
and Girth Brooks.
Yeah.
So I do want to thank everybody for tuning into this episode.
Thank you.
And also, if you don't want to watch the videos, if you're driving or something, all of these shows are available to listen to audio only. So we're on all the podcast outlets. That's iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts. We're everywhere. So make sure you do subscribe. And if you do have an iPhone, please leave us a rating, because that does help us out tremendously.
Yes,
Leave a listen. I'm gonna say this to especially my people. You know what I mean? That know me. One of the things that we always talk about is about supporting each other. This doesn't cost you anything to like
share,
and all that.
follow.
You know what I mean? Because I have, and I'm not throwing this in nobody's face, but I have supported businesses and things of that nature just for the simple fact of encouraging other people to take a look at and stuff like that. And for a community to come together and be able to do that, I literally expect my people, my family, to take the time and say, hey, I like this, or take the time and have a question. You know what I mean? I don't do a lot of times you hear people talk about, oh, they hating on me. I don't do that. They hating on me thing. I believe that with success, you're always going to have a response, and it's not always going to be positive. You know what I mean? A lot of times people are so miserable with themselves, they have to tear down something. You know what I mean? As like me, I had Phil ask me one time and said, Dwight, are you okay with letting people know about your past? Yeah, I'm okay with it, because I destroyed myself more than anybody else can destroy me. So me is like a voice of saying, like, come out your shell.
Yeah, if you're willing to be so vulnerable with people, then I think that, this is a safe place.
Exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
speaking of safe places, if you guys are new to the Explore Her, check out our group, Explore Her Relationship Enhancement Tools.
Yes, on Facebook.
All things sex, sexual relations. This is a safe space. You'll see some comedy stuff, and you'll hear about some issues, but we want to hear from you guys too. That is your spot. It's a private group, so
Yes.
none of the information will be shared. So it is a private group, so if you do want to check that out, it's just Explore Her Relationship Enhancement Tools. So guys, I do want to thank you all for tuning in.
Yes,
this
thank
was
you
an
so
incredible
much.
episode, a lot to digest. So you can watch it 10, 20, 15 times. It doesn't matter. Go ahead.
And share it.
And definitely share the podcast.
Like, share, and
Comment, help bump our posts.
Yep, and definitely share.
Spread the word.
And also, too, one more thing for everybody to go. I need y'all to register so when the product does come out,
You'll be the first to know about
you'll be
it.
the first to know about
Yep.
it.
All right, guys. Well, with that said, thank you all for tuning in. We will catch you later.